Hi Gus, thank you so much for this interview. It's an honor to be talking to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, as I said, it's great to be talking to you. Still Raging has just been released. How have the reactions been so far?
Actually, really good. I mean, all the reviews that I've seen from press have been really good. Unexpectedly good. I mean, not that I expected bad reviews, but yeah, there's somehow been quite a quite a good reception on this release. I didn't expect it because a live album is
Yeah,
usually, I don't know, usually live albums don't get much attention. But maybe because of the reason that not many bands release live albums these days, maybe that's why ours is getting more attention than usual. So I didn't expect. I mean, I'm actually doing a lot of press for this live album. Almost the campaign is almost as like doing a studio album. So it's strange, but yeah, it's cool.
yeah,
And the fans and the fans love it. The fans that have picked it up and they've seen
yeah,
it, they
exactly.
love it.
It was a great show, and I think that every fan now has the possibility to see it and to witness as if they were there. So it was a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
idea.
Thank you. Yeah.
And this show was recorded in Principal Club Theater in Thessaloniki. That is
Yeah.
your hometown, I think. How was it
Yeah.
to play in your hometown?
It's always a little bit nerve-wracking for me because, my family's here, my
Yeah,
parents, a wife, and all that. And a lot of family and friends. But at the same time, it's a nice feeling. It's good to be at home. And yeah, I'm proud that we have such a good hometown crowd. And I mean, obviously, you've seen it. They really love the band here, and it's just a very nice feeling. It's nice to come home, especially like 20 years later when the circle is full in a way.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. And the band has grown a lot. I mean, it was your side project back then. You were in Mystic Prophecy, your side project. Now it's one of the most respectable bands in the power metal scene worldwide, and you have an international band as well. You also have to cover up some things, speaking in Greek to your yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're a multilingual band. The drummer is half Belgian, half Spanish. The singer is German, and me and the bass player we're Greek. So
Yeah.
we are like from all over the place, and you can imagine in our conversations, there's Spanish, German, Greek, everything. So
Everything is mixed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and what memories do you keep from this show?
Yeah, I mean, I feel about that show. I mean, watching it back, it was. I think we caught on tape that magic that the night had. Um,
Yeah,
it was. I'm
definitely
glad we
did.
caught it on film. Not only on tape, and this is like a real live show. There's no bullshit overdubs, and we didn't put fake audience. This is the real audience, how they sing, how they
Yeah.
react. Um, So it's very real, and the feedback that I'm getting is that people are feeling that they are in the room with you. So this is very important to hear for me. This means a lot because you are kind of we were. This means that we were able um to transcend that experience, to make people to relive that experience if they were there, or if not, to feel like they were inside that room that night. So this is to me that's a success. So.
Yeah, it definitely is. And maybe that's also the reason why this album is doing so good and you're doing so much press and everything, because it's the real show, it's the real deal that the people experience there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and you came up with the idea to record this show before you actually played it, right?
It was like a little bit like last minute, to be honest. We didn't plan on it. We just planned to do the shows. We did the shows, one in Athens, one in Thessaloniki, and then the idea to film it came a little bit late in the day, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the show. The guys that have the film company, I know them and they're friends, and they're the ones that did our DVD live premonition like 15 years ago.
Hmm.
and they said, how about we bring the crew down to film it again? And in the beginning, I thought it was kind of cheesy idea to do it again at the same venue, and then but then I thought, well, actually, this is a very good idea, because now we have such a big back catalog 15 years later.
Yeah.
It's a different band, it's a new lineup. So yeah, and of course, that DVD that we did 15 years ago, that was a different time. It doesn't even exist in the market anymore. So it's good to kind of refresh everything. And now we have like 9 albums in our back, so it's probably a good opportunity for even new people to discover Firewind.
Exactly.
Because in a way, it's like a best of album, but live. So for all these reasons, I started thinking, okay, this is a great idea. So in the end, we managed to do it. So, and I'm glad we didn't have any technical issues, really. Everything really went smooth, both on film and audio recording. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're just talking about that it's a different show. You have a lot of albums in your catalog now, and one thing that is really curious is that you played a song from every album except from Allegiance. Was that something you were trying to do, to cover all your back catalog?
Sorry, you said except
Yes, except Allegiance, I
except
think.
Allegiance?
Yeah.
No, we covered Allegiance.
Too?
The only album we didn't cover was Forged by Fire.
Okay, yeah, maybe I mixed that. Yeah, but was it your aim to play like a song from all your different eras?
Yeah, we wanted to cover all eras. Forged by Fire is not really my favorite time of the band. It was a very kind of shaky time, and like things were changing and we were still figuring it out. We went from a studio project to a live band, so it was a certain transition. So usually we would do the song Tyranny from that album, but we have released live versions of that on the previous 2 live albums. So I thought there was really no point to play that one right now. And at the same time, we wanted to introduce Herbie to the audience, and we focused on a best of from each album, but focused a lot also on the latest album too.
Yeah, because it was also part of the tour from your latest album, right?
Yeah, well, kind of later in the day, 2 years after it came out, but yeah.
Yeah, and you
it was actually our only opportunity. It was our only opportunity to show that, to promote that album, even though it was 2 years later. So we didn't do a tour because it was a pandemic originally. So at the same time, we went out and we did the shows, kind of cross promoting like the last album and celebrating 20 years.
Yeah, and during that, not that tour, but yeah, last year you also played, or beginning of this year, I'm not sure, also played a show in Portugal, in Lisbon. Was the same tour, right? What memories do you get from that show too?
The last time Firewind was in Portugal was 2009 in a festival. Yeah, and the show in Lisbon was the opening night of the tour. So
yeah,
it was a really good show, actually. I think we were surprised how many people were there for Firewind that night. So it was cool.
Yeah, it was a brilliant show. Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to be there, but I heard it was a great show. And this album was already recorded. This show was already recorded last year. What other live plans do you have right now?
Not much right now for this year. We have one festival left in 2 weeks in Switzerland. That's the last one for this year. But we are going to announce a tour, I think next week. We announced a tour for early 2024. We're going to announce our plans, which is going to be the tour for the new album that's going to come out, the new studio album.
Yeah, and what can you reveal about that new studio album so far?
I mean, it's done. We've delivered to the label. We've shot the videos. We've done the promo shoots. And now we are finalizing the singles and all that stuff, like artwork and all those things. So soon we will reveal the title and start the pre-sales and all that.
Yeah, and do you have an approximate release date already?
Yes, we do. It's going to be February or March. I might be wrong about March. Maybe it's February, like end of February.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Coming back to Still Raging, how did you select the songs for such an important show?
Well, it's kind of hard because a lot of songs in a lot of albums, so
Yeah.
we know right away that we won't be able to please everybody. So some fans want to hear more obscure songs, and then some others they don't know and they just want to hear more of the known songs. I mean, we even left out some of the singles that we released over the years. So it's
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to do it all, man. It's like in a 2-hour show is really hard. So we play some standards. We play some standards. We also choose songs that fit Herbie's voice because we've had so many singers. He has to cover so many different other guys' styles. So, and he's doing a great job. But we wanted to be careful with which songs we pick because we want him to feel comfortable when he sings them too.
Yeah, and he did a brilliant job. So his voice. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to fit to so many songs that were sung by so many different singers.
To be honest, I was confident the moment I heard him sing. I was confident he was the right guy for the band, and I knew that he would be able to deliver, if not all, most of the back catalog. I knew that his style would fit perfectly. So, of course, what he's doing is very difficult. Not every singer can do that, to jump in a band that has had already 4 singers. But I somehow knew that Herbie could deliver it, and I think he's winning a lot of all the old fans over. That's they are saying the same thing, like you say. They're surprised how well he can handle it.
Yeah, and I think he kind of reminds me of the first singer that you had that sang in between Heaven and Hell. Kind of has the same, right?
Exactly. He definitely has the same vibe as Stephen Frederick. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring Herbie to the band, because I always loved Stephen's voice. And yeah, I thought Herbie is into that along
Yeah.
voice and the early songs, because it sounds pretty similar.
Yeah, it does, and it fits in every of your eras. That's brilliant. Now this was your, as you said, was your first live album since 2013. What were the most notorious changes that you noticed, like in your opinion, in the show, the crowd, on that?
Well, the good thing about us, especially in Greece, where we are from, we've somehow managed to, like, the cool thing about Firewind is that we always seem to renew our fan base. Like, there was a lot of young kids at the audience. I mean, you see like it's like all ages. You see like from teenagers to guys in their mid 50s or even 60s, that like old school metalheads. And then there's like people that are like my age, kind of like middle-aged people they grew up with us in a way. And then there's like somehow it always recycles. There's always like a younger generation that finds out about Firewind somehow. And that was happening like 15 years ago back then, and it's happening now. And even like last weekend, we played in Athens, and that was our biggest show ever. And when I asked the audience, how many of you are watching us for the first time, there was quite a lot of people that were there for the first time, which is, it's remarkable. I mean, I don't know, it's a little bit of that kind of, on a very small scale, of course, like that Iron Maiden effect, but somehow
Yeah, exactly.
it passes on to the next generation somehow. So I mean, we're happy about that, so, and we're trying to do the same thing internationally. It's hard. You have to get on the right tours to be in front of the right audience, in a different audience, not only your audience, but to try and cross over.
Yeah, but I think that all of that just shows how the quality that you have already shown throughout your career. Because if there wasn't any quality there, there wouldn't be a renewable audience. Always.
I want to think so. Yeah. And of course we try to make better shows as well. As we grow as a band, we want to have a better stage show, like a light show, and now we're bringing some pyro now, and so now we're trying to do more stuff, more and more, because we want to keep up with technology, and of course we want to present the band as big as possible. It's not possible every time when you play a small club, but if we have the opportunity, we do it.
Yeah, and soon enough you'll have your own Eddie wonking on the stage.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe he will be a giant cat.
Yeah, that would be great. Now, also during this show, as well as in the tour that you did before in the US and after, I think, you were the only guitar player on the stage. Did you why did you chose this path? And is it something that you would want to do in the future?
Well, I mean, after Bob left the band
Hmm.
3.5 years ago, I was thinking that this is a good time for me to reimagine the band. And we did start out as a four-piece originally in the first two albums. And I decided that I didn't want a second guitar player anymore, and I didn't want keyboards anymore in the band. I want keyboards in our sound, but not like as a
Yeah.
main thing on stage. And I knew it was going to be a totally different thing from the past, from what people knew. So my idea was to basically reimagine the band and restructure the band. And it feels really good to be as a four-piece on stage. It's kind of like the blueprint of any like old school hard rock heavy metal band. Prior to the time of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, like all the like bands of 70s, like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, that's the blueprint.
Yeah.
A guitar player who's some kind of central figure together with a main, with a singer who's also a main figure, and a great rhythm section. So to me that works. We use now keyboards on a backing track, but it works and it's fine. And we're the kind of band that we can still play without tracks anyways. We don't rely heavily on them. We just have them as an extra little sound to enhance the whole show.
Yeah.
So this was basically my vision for the new era of Firewind.
And do you think we'll ever see something like you did in the Premonition tour, where Bob would play either the second guitar or the keyboards?
I don't think so. No, I think that era is done. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, we're still friends, but I mean, never say never, but I don't see us working together again.
Yeah. Well, but it's working really well, and I think that only you playing guitar on stage, it's a different sound. It sounds really well too. And apart from being on Firewind, last year you were also the guitar player for Pondaianu tour in Greece. How did that come about?
Well, that happened because of the promoter, who is a friend of Paul's, and he's also one of my best my best friends. And he told me about what Paul went through, with his leg and everything. And he
Yeah.
wanted to do these shows to kind of like help him, to help his morale mentally, to feel better and motivate him. And he actually had a Greek band that he used to bring him here and tour with.
Mhm.
Because I think Paul does that. He has several bands around the world, and he tours with like some bands in Europe and some band. He has a Brazilian band or something. And he told me that one of the guitar players couldn't do it, and he said, "Would you step in and do this?" And I didn't have any gigs for that month, so I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I would love to play with Paul." And I love Maiden, of course. I'm a huge fan. So I took on the challenge, and I knew Paul a little bit. We had met a couple of times before, but not very well. But it was nice to do these shows and to see him. He was in a better condition. He was. You could tell that every night his voice was getting better and stuff, and he was feeling more confident. And so it was nice. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, it was great. And such an experienced guitar player as you are, I mean, already played with so many different bands in so many different stages and everything. I think it was the perfect matchup. Well, Gus, I think that's it. Thank you so much. Would you like to send any message to your Portuguese fans?
Yeah, man. I want to thank everybody for the support. I want to say obrigado, and I hope I see you guys next year when we come out with a new album.
Yeah, and I hope to see you here in Portugal too. Don't forget to book a show in here as well.
I'll try
Well,
my best.
yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much, Gus.
Thank you, Danny.